Hello lovely stitchy friends, I'm Kat and I'm delighted to welcome you to my channel Catkin and Lily, where we talk all things cross stitch. And I'm here today, I can't believe it's been another 2 weeks already, but it's time for a FlossTube. It's episode number 39 and as I'm filming this today it is the 14th of January. Halfway through January 2025 already. Yeah, last couple of weeks have absolutely flown by. Fortunately with a decent little bit of stitching to share with you as well. I hope you've all had a really good start to your 2025. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back to spend some more time with me. As ever, there are more and more people flooding onto FlossTube, so I hugely appreciate all of you coming back to spend some more time with me. And if you're a new viewer, then welcome. I hope you'll really enjoy seeing all the cross-stitch stuff that I've got going on, and perhaps consider hitting that subscribe button if you are indeed enjoying it. Okay, what have I got lined up today for you? I've got a finish, a very exciting finish. I always say that, finishes are always exciting. This one has just been a little while coming, and if you saw my whip parade that I did last week, was it last week? I don't even know now. Anyway, there was one missing, so today we are going to be revealing what that was. I've got the usual whips, we've got a few. I have got one little bit of new stash. We have some plans, we have some AOB, and we have my giveaway announcement, which was for my 8,000 subscribers. There's a lot more of you since then. I can't believe we're now actually, I think just over 8,500 now. So maybe we will be able to do another giveaway soon. But first, let's stick with the 8,000 subscriber giveaway. Yeah, absolutely incredible. And hello and welcome to all of you who have subscribed in the last few weeks, because there's been quite a lot of you. And yeah, I am so very grateful for each and every one of you. In fact, it's a good time to say that I'm actually starting to get a little bit overwhelmed with all the comments. I love reading all your comments. I read them all. I appreciate every single one. I'm starting to find it harder and harder to keep replying to you all, but please rest assured that I do read and love them all. So thank you very much for that. So yes, we will do the giveaway draw. We'll do that a little bit later in the video. We will see when that pops up. But I am going to start with that finish, as is traditional for me, and yeah, the excitement very real on this one. I will put the information panel up for you. As with all my whips, I will put on the side of me here, you'll see a little information panel popping up with all the details of the project and what it will look like when it's finished, which you don't really need for this one because I'm going to show you what, well, at least what my one looks like now it's finished. What am I talking about? It's Rossa by Bella Filipina. Did any of you guess that? I know my mum did. And I started this one, I'm going to check my notes here, I started this one on the 23rd of September 2023, and I finished it just so recently. Literally I think I'd finished it, gosh, must have been like the 31st of December, somewhere around there. I finished it right at the back end of December. I haven't actually put my date down properly on that one, but anyway, she's finally finished, and here she is. Yeah, I've kind of gone quiet so you can just enjoy her. Let's bring her in, see if I can give you a look at all the beautiful beading. It's stunning. Very happy with the fabric. Well, I say happy with the fabric other than the fact that because this was the very first fancy lady that I ever started, my very first Bella Filipina, not a huge one. I picked her deliberately because she's one of the slightly smaller Bella Filipina designs and I thought that was a good place to start. Smaller, but there was still a heck of a lot of beading. And this is where the fabric choice comes in, because I picked 32 count even weave for this because that's what I That tends to be my go-to fabric. But for the beading, I think it just meant some of the beads, I mean, it looks lovely. I'm very happy with it. But some of the beads are a tiny bit scrunched in. It's very marginal. I don't know that I would, if you really, really wanted to stitch on 32 count instead of 28 count, I don't know that I would let it put you off. It's mostly fine, but I guess you'll see, if I show you, you'll see on some of the beading around her neck, you can just see where the columns of beads, I think they would have just sat a tiny bit straighter and more in line if I'd gone for the 28 count. But this was a learning curve for me. This, as I say, it was my first fancy lady. I'm super happy with it. It might even have been my first foray onto hand-dyed fabric, to be honest. And I love the colour choice. I think she really pops on that. So, yeah, I kind of can't quite believe that she's actually finally finished, because it's been ages since you've seen her. And it was only the last bit of beading that she was waiting for. So it sort of seems silly that she waited that long, really. But I cannot wait to get her to the framers. The framer might not love me so much because it's going to have to do some kind of, put some spaces in and what have you to obviously account for the depth of the beads with the framing. But he said he can do it, no problem. So yeah, I'm beyond excited to actually get that one to the framer. So that was the finish. No FFOs, nothing else in that vein, just onto whips. We've got a decent amount of whips today. What we don't have is quite so many fancy ladies. We've got our fancy lady finish, so I'm hoping that'll keep you going. And I've got one more fancy lady that I don't think you've seen for a bit, well, apart from on the whip parade. Obviously, you saw everything on the whip parade. But there's no Winter's Gift and there's no Sorceress. And I definitely intended that I would work on those. When I say intended, it was very loose plans. I thought I might get to them, but the Winter's Gift is just waiting beading and I need a good chunk of time to sit and at least get started on that. So I haven't had that. And the Sorceress just hasn't come out, so hopefully soon. But that does mean we are starting, actually, the first one is the fancy lady that we do have to share with you. And actually, yeah, my very last one maybe kind of counts as a fancy lady. Not sure. Anyway, the first one I do have for you is Gaia the Earth Goddess by Bella Filipina. So having done the small-ish Mermaid, Rossa, I think this is the one I jumped into next because this was my birthday start for last year. So this was started on the 2nd of May. And she's huge. She's really enormous, barely fitting on my board now. I mean, I've got the larger board now and at some point I think she's not going to fit. Here is where she's at. She is huge. Every time I unroll her, I work with this bottom end rolled up, and every time I have to unroll it to show on here, I realise how huge she is. So obviously this bit was all done previously. You've seen most of this before, and the new bit has been up the top here. I've been working, I had her hand, so if you saw it on the whip parade, I had a bit of this done, but I've worked more up here and started in on this little bird that's up here as well. So yeah, huge, absolutely huge. I think her head is about here, but then she's got a massive headdress. So just absolutely enormous. I'm glad I didn't do this one for the first project. It might have put me off a little bit. And I think the beading is going to be, that's going to be a thing. We're not going to worry about that yet because I think I'm still a way off of that. And I am so enjoying stitching on her. I'm not necessarily in a rush to finish her. I suppose it'd be quite nice if I finished her by my birthday this year. Yeah, I'm not sure that would happen, but oh well, we'll see. So that's Gaia. Next we have the Deadly Aquarium SAL by Lola Crow. So yes, this is one that obviously was in my whip parade, but you haven't seen for a while on my regular floss tubes. And I said I was bringing it back as my football stitch. This stitch along finished. I don't even know how long ago when it actually officially finished. I started stitching this on the 17th of May 2024. So obviously I'm stitching it for a while, and then yeah, at least the last few months of 2024 I just didn't touch this at all. But I really want to get this one picked up and finished. So it's been my football stitch, which means it gets a couple of football matches a week at the moment, so when Liverpool Football Club are playing. And I've managed to do a little bit on it. Not loads, but some. So this is where we're at. I'll try and get this over this side so you might be able to see the comparison with the other picture. And what I've been working on is this arch over on this side. So if I bring that one in, I had done most of the arch on this side before I pick this one back up again. What's new is this lovely barracuda, who is also backstitched, and I've just carried on a bit more of this up here. I've put some backstitching on the kelp. So yeah, really up here. So I'm trying to get this arch kind of all completed. That's my goal. I think I need to be a little bit sort of systematic with it. Now all of the pattern obviously is out, as I say, ages ago. I think if I can work a little bit systematically, try and get that archway finished. And it very nearly is. I just have that bit of the frame at the top and a seagull, and that would be finished. Apart from, I will say, there is stuff all underneath here. There's a big chunk down here to do. So I'm probably not going to move to that next. I'm going to finish up the top part of the arch, and then I want to move into this big section. Try and get into that and work on that. There's a lot of backstitch missing as well in that section. In fact, a lot of it is missing a lot of backstitch. So I'm just going to pick each little bit that I'm going to work on, try and work systematically through it so I'm not missing any bits. And yeah, just see where I can get to on that one. Sticking with stitch-alongs for whip number 3 is the Arctic Animals stitch-along by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. So this is a current SAL, so by contrast to the last one, this one is still running and I've been keeping up with it, which yeah, has been kind of crazy to me, but I'm here for it. And this one is, we're in part 9 is out. I always forget how many parts there are. I checked, there are 11. So part 9 on at the moment, 2 more parts to go. So the newest part that's out is the gorgeous polar bear. And this is one of those I've started, it's not that impressive. So here's the whole piece, just starting to look really lovely all together. And here's my start on the polar bear. Oh, I've got his little sort of ice floe and a leg. So not tons yet on that one. But yeah, I think I've only stitched it. I only stitched that really briefly on Sunday just gone actually. So definitely be pulling that one back out and working on that one some more. Can't wait to stitch that polar bear, although all the white, yeah, well, I think we all know how we feel about stitching white, but the polar bear's adorable, so it'll be worth it. Now talking of stitching white, oh no, I've got one before more white. This one has no white. For a change, yay, no white on this one, complete contrast. This is Blizzard Valley by Pigeon Coop Designs. The only white here is the fabric. The rest of it very much not, and is looking gorgeous. Look at this. Oh, it's just so pretty. Absolutely love that. It's one of those ones, it looks even better when you kind of hold it up and see it on camera as well. The colours just absolutely pop. So I've been working, I think since you last saw it, I've all this sort of mountain section. So I've done pretty good progress on this one. So this is the one that I sort of broke up into 5 parts to do as an unofficial SAL. So there's a load of other lovely ladies on Instagram and also in my Patreon membership that are stitching this. 3 people have now finished it because they were just loving it so much, and I definitely get that. I am not finished there. Part 4 will be to finish sort of this section across here, and then part 5 at the top. Actually, I think part 5 goes a bit further up. Anyway, it's all very unofficial, but part 5 we would be starting in on at the weekend. Don't know if I'll quite finish this by then, but yeah, really enjoying stitching that one anyway. Whenever I get to finish it, it will be delightful. Now the next one is the one I was back on white again, because we're Frosty Tiny Town by Heart in Hand. And this one was started on the 8th of December. So we're up to really recent whips. So I've kind of got a few that were fairly old. And then Blizzard Valley was only started in November 2024 and Frosty Tiny Town in December. So we're quite recent now with this. And apologies, I've got a little thread. Yeah, I'm going to put the thread at the top. It's slightly more out the way that way. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, Frosty Tiny Town. Here's where we're at. Loving this fabric. Loving all the cute stitching on this one. And I can't remember exactly where I was. I was somewhere in the trees, I think. And so I think this house and across to this one is all new. Now I've been a little bit unsure about this house because the blue for the house and the black, they look really close together. I'm going to be interested to see how it shows up on camera actually. It felt like they weren't very distinct from each other, and it's the colourful colours, but because it is hand-dyed threads, so it is possible that the skeins that I've got, just because of the way that they will come out slightly differently, that I've got a sort of slightly darker blue and a slightly lighter black that's kind of making them look really close together. I don't know. I'm very undecided. In a lot of lights, it looks absolutely fine. We shall see. Do you know what? I'm looking at that now and I was thinking, oh, look, I did well. I put the eyes in on the snowman and the bird. And I have, if you look, snowman has his eyes and the bird has the little French knot. Do you know what I haven't done? He's got a little button. I haven't stitched his button, have I? Or has he got 2 buttons? Oh, no. He's got an actual button. He's got an actual button. I don't think I meant to have stitched that. It's possibly just going to be one of those days. Yes, I think that one is where there are some physical tiny buttons in this kit. I think that might be what that is. I don't know what I'm talking about. Right, so we'll just move on. Winter Woodland Star Pillow. This was a Jingle Ball exclusive by Hello from Liz Matthews. And this one has been languishing a little bit, and I apologise, has a couple more threads. It's just one of those days. I always say most times I don't have dangling threads. I've been skipping about between projects so much that I think I have threads on more of them than I usually would. And this one has been languishing a tiny bit because I was changing colours. So you'll have seen it, the original was all reds and yellows. I've switched them out, but you'll see where it was last time. And this is where I am. So there's definitely more. There's an extra deer. You have a tiny deer over here as well. That is all 3 deer. We've got some more trees. And yeah, I mean, I'm really enjoying the colour changes with the pinks and the slightly bluier greens. Really enjoying that. But I am deciding as I go which trees I do in exactly which greens and which snowflakes in exactly which pinks. So it's just taking me a little bit longer. A little bit of brain work on that one. But yeah, really pretty. It's hard to tell, there's not too much left to go, but yeah, just need to put a little bit more time in on that one. And then we're up to my two newest starts for the last couple of whips, and these were both started on the 1st of January. I did have a New Year new start, which wasn't planned to be this one that I'm going to show you, but this next one is the Little Owl Patchwork Stitch Along by the Historical Sampler Company. And it just so happened that the first part was released on the 1st of January, so I started it on the 1st of January. So we've still just got part 1 out, and part 1 I haven't finished, but I finished as much as I'm going to stitch on it. You'll see why. So this is where, oh no, stay. Oh, I should have got the bigger board back for this one again, shouldn't I? I'll tell you what, I'll just hold it. Hold it properly, Cat. There we go. That's where we're at. Look at the little owl. Oh, it's so cute. I love the colours on this. The combination of the reds and the greens and the teals, really pretty. This little guy is adorable. I love these little patchwork motifs. This is just really beautiful. So I'm really enjoying that. I'm really enjoying having switched it to linen. The Historical Sampler Company make their projects available on linen or Aida, and I've tended to go for the Aida. But as you know, I've been leaning more even weave and maybe even more linen recently. So I swapped this one for linen, and I may well have future projects from them on linen as well. We shall see, but I'm really enjoying the linen for this one. So I say that's as much as I'm stitching on that one, because the rest of the motifs, you'll have seen from the picture, there's a house in the middle of it. And I haven't stitched any of that yet because I'm not stitching a quarter of a house. It's going to annoy me. So I have stitched everything that I can in part 1, apart from where the motifs are half motifs and that little chunk of the house in the middle that's a quarter of a house. I will be able to get into the house on part 2, and part 2 is out actually as you watch this. I think it will have actually come out. It's because it's out on Wednesday, and this video will be out for you to watch on Thursday, unless you're watching it early in my Patreon group, of course, in which case it's not out yet because you'll be watching it on Tuesday. Very confusing. Anyway, part 2 coming very soon. I'm going to dive straight into that because I would love to keep better caught up with this than I have with the stitch alongs in the past. And then I will get into the house because I'll at least have all of the top section, because part 2 will be the other top corner. So I can work the roof of the house all the way along, so I can get into that. So I'm raring to go on that one. And that brings us to the final whip and my New Year new start, apart from that one which was kind of just a bonus New Year new start. And this one is The Mermaid's Realm by Joan Elliott. You can tell it's just making me smile, this one, because I had my eye on it for so long, so excited to start it. And as I say, I think I had, 2 weeks ago, I had the tiniest start because I was filming on New Year's Day, and so all I'd done was put in a tiny little bit. You will have seen a little bit more in the whip parade if you saw that one. And we have a bit more to see. I've actually done this. This is the whole width of the bottom. That's the other corner. So yeah. I just love that. It's so good. I've got a mermaid. I've just started in on the matching mermaid on this side. It's gorgeous. I am loving stitching that. I'm loving it on the fabric. I'm loving the single colour. Just really, really relaxing stitching. Yes, there is quite a lot of counting. A lot of counting. But so far, touch wood, it has been okay. So yeah, hopefully, I'll be surprised if I don't miscount something at some point in this piece. It's quite large. But yeah, I've been really enjoying stitching that, and yeah, probably picking it up on more days when I just wanted something that was just really chilled out. In fact, I picked it up yesterday because I had a crazy overwhelming day in work at the hospital. It was one of my 2 days that I was working, work as a specialist frailty pharmacist. Very, very overwhelming. And I really needed what I had. I can't remember what I was going to stitch when I got home, but I just picked that up because I needed something really calming, and that just does it for me. So yay for more mermaids, more maybe fancy lady. I don't know. Does it count? Perhaps not. It has fancy mermaids on it. And that's all the whips. So that brings us to new stash. Now there's not very much, but there's still some. And it's I was going to say my favourite stash. I mean, all of it's my favourite, isn't it? But I did buy some more fabric. You just know, don't you? Like, and I'm going to have trouble showing all of this. It's so pretty. I'll try and put them all together for you. And the reason for this is, as I was talking about earlier, that I've really been enjoying stitching on even weave, and then maybe even linen, and realised I don't own a lot of linen. So I thought I'd remedy that, and I bought some linen. And just look at these. I'll try and if I hold them up in front of me and see if the colours, do you know what, they are doing pretty good actually, colour-wise. These are linens from the absolutely fabulous Swan Bay Fabrics. I will put a link in the description, of course. I know some of you already know Swan Bay Fabrics, fairly new fabric dyer on the scene, but not a new lady. I understand she, Maria, who has started the company, has been around in the stitchy world for a little while. I think she's very well known by a lot of people. And she and her lovely partner, I believe, are making the most beautiful fabrics. And I know some of you have already got some of these. So I don't know, I might just be late to the party on this one, but I don't care. I have bought, so as you can see, I have bought 4 colours. I'll show them individually and let you know what colours they were. They're all 32 count linen. As you know, it's kind of my go-to. And I've opted for, so 2 of them fairly neutral colours. So this beautiful pale cream colour, this is light Sanditon. And I've got all of them. These are just a fat 1/8, which is 13 by 19 inches. So this size. So I thought that was a good size to just get a sort of test of the fabric, of the colours. Obviously you can get much larger pieces, but I thought if I got these as tests, they're big enough for me to put a decent project on them. And should I fall in love with them and want to stitch something on a bigger piece, then I can order that in future. So that's light Sanditon. And then this beautiful one is dark Sanditon. Gorgeous coffee colour, really pretty. So those 2 neutrals are just, yeah, I don't think I will have any trouble finding something to put on those. And then I wanted something a little bit more interest, so I got the blue and the green. This beautiful, it's kind of, it's a sort of slightly denim-y but very slightly more lilac. This is Mansfield Stone. So I guess it's kind of I don't know, my brain keeps seeing it as blue, but then I think maybe it's actually more grey. Bluey grey? I never know how to describe these fabrics. I just want to just say they're gorgeous. And then this last one, the greeny colour, this is Wentworth Sage. And look at that. That might be my favourite. It's the most beautiful green. Absolutely stunning. very excited to find something to put on those. I'm sure I have some lovely patterns that could go on there. And if not, I'll have to buy some new patterns to put on there, won't I? Okay, enough of me and my fabric addiction again. Let's do the giveaway winner. So as I mentioned at the start of the video, this was for reaching 8,000 subscribers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So grateful for all of you who subscribe to my channel. And we had this to give away. It was a project bag from Turtle Bay Textiles. So we had the dinosaurs and dinosaurs on the inside with the cute little dino on here as well, and glow in the dark, which is just epic. And yeah, we had lots of lovely entries for this. I can't remember how many entries we had. It's just over 70, I think. Seems a lot of you enjoying the bag, but unfortunately there can only be one winner. So I will pop the comment from the winner up on the screen, and it is Musketeers +2. Yay! Congratulations, Christine, who I know is a regular viewer and commenter. Very happy when your name came up. So do drop me an email so that I can get that lovely project bag in the post to you. And here's to the next giveaway. I don't think it will be too long. I hope it won't. That would be amazing. And yeah, have a rifle around and find some more lovely things to give away to you. Right, what have we got next? We've got some plans. Because of course we have plans. We don't always follow the plans, but we make the plans anyway. So the first part of the plans is always my Whip Go update. And I did a little video, if you didn't see it, all about Whip Go and what I'm doing for the year. So you can pop back and watch that if you're interested. My January calls were to work on my newest project. So that was the Mermaid's Realm. And I decided that my goal for that would be to work on it for 5 days. And I've done 4 already. This is how much I've been loving this. I've stitched on it for 4 days already, so I've only got 1 more to go. So yeah, I don't think there's any problem with me meeting that goal. The second goal was animal. And I chose the Arctic animals. And my goal for that was to finish part 9, so to finish the polar bear. So you know I've got a bit more to do on that one. So hopefully can complete that one by the time we catch up in a couple of weeks' time. Other than that, it's really carrying on with the things you've seen. Yeah, I'm going to keep the breakfast stitch is the little owl patchwork. My football project is the Deadly Aquarium. Fancy Lady Friday will be Gaia, so I'll be working on her more on Fridays. And on SAL Sundays, it will be Blizzard Valley and the Arctic Animal stitch along. Maybe even more the Arctic Animals, because I do want to get that polar bear finished. So that's all of those. I've got the other ones that I'm catching up on as well. And I would like to squeeze in some Sorceress. Wouldn't we all? Maybe today, actually. Because, that was it. The Sorceress was what I was going to work on yesterday when I'd had the crazy day and I decided to work on the Mermaid. So we're going to do swapsies. Sorceress today then. Excellent. And that's pretty much it for plans. I have no more planned new starts because I've got enough to be keeping me going for now. Possibly right at the end of January. I actually have a Stitchy weekend retreat at the end of January. I'm so excited for that. And I would like a new start, but I'm actually going to pick something small, I think, for that. I probably will take other projects as well, but a small new start for the Stitchy weekend, that would be quite nice. So, but nothing else for now. I will be back again before that Stitchy weekend, so we will see. On to AOB, and again, pretty short. January's busy. It already has been, it's still going to be busy. Lots of family catch-ups, which have just been wonderful. I've got Stitchy things. I mentioned I've got my Stitchy weekend retreat at the end of January, and I have on the 25th, so a week on Saturday, I have a Stitchy day with the Black Country Friends Craft Together group, which will be fantastic. So Really looking forward to catching up with some stitchy folks and getting a bit of stitching done, have a nice bit of coffee and cake. Yeah, very excited for that. Oh, and I am attempting to squeeze in a spot of pattern designing into all of this madness, because I did want to do a little Valentine's Day pattern, and that's fast approaching, and actually it's not a little pattern. So I don't have anything to share on that front with you yet, but it is in the works. Think love letters and cute little birds. That's all I'm going to say for now. If you want more sneak peeks, probably the first place is to watch out for that, because by the time we come back in 2 weeks' time, I'm going to hope that it's actually out for you. So if you want to see it in the meantime, pop over and follow me on Instagram, or come and join in the Patreon Stitchy community that I've set up. You do need to be a paid member to see pretty much everything going on in there, but £2 a month minimum, and I will be sharing some sneak peeks and good stuff around that new pattern. So if you want to see what's going on with that and probably be able to buy it at a discounted rate, and I usually do a giveaway when I launch a new pattern in there as well. So come and join us over on Patreon for all of that. And that's it. That brings us to the end of my cross stitch updates this time round. I hope you've enjoyed seeing all that. Hope you've maybe got some of your own stitching done while I've been chatting away to you. It's always lovely to keep you company while you're stitching. What's coming up next? Planning for a tutorial next Thursday. As usual, I don't know what it will be. You guys were really, really enjoying the tutorial that I put up last Thursday about starting stitching on even weave and linen leaning against the post. One of those odd little tips, but can be really useful. So yeah, if you saw that and enjoyed it, excellent. If not, pop back and check that out. And what else? We've got coffee and chat video coming up on Patreon on Tuesday. And as I say, I'll probably be mentioning my new pattern in there for that. And that's, yep, that is basically me done. If you've enjoyed all this cross stitch goodness, then please do make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single stitch. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Happy stitching, and bye for now.